Hi there, welcome to module number 6. You made it. You've done 5 modules so far. Congratulations. If you've skipped ahead, slap on the wrist for you. That is not good. You should go back and complete the other modules. Now, module number 6 is all about deploying what you've learned so far, taking these messages and getting them set up and emailing them out. Now, we're going to cover how to create affiliate commissions without a list in the next module. But make sure you go through this module even if you don't have a list, because it contains critical information about the sequence in which you should be doing affiliate promotions, about the frequency, and about the overall structure of how to manage and run an affiliate promotion that's going to get you the biggest commissions. So, with no further ado, let's get stuck into it.
Okay, it's time for a rapid recap. That is, a recap of the rapid income formula that I've been taking you through in this commission machine training. So the R of rapid is for research. So by now you should have chosen the best products to promote. The A is for angle. So by now you've got the best angle for the promotion. Thirdly, we spoke about providing incentives. So you've now created the best bonuses for your buyers. Next, we spoke about creating the right type of messages for the promotion that get noticed, get clicks, and get sales. And now it's time to deploy. So you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to share with you, even if you don't have a list yet. I know there'll be some of you watching this and going through these modules that are interested in the no list method, which we'll be covering in the next module. But even if you don't have a list yet, you need to go through this module right now, because it contains important information that you can use to maximize your commissions. Because really, this module is about the deployment strategy, not the vehicle. So it's about how you actually implement these messages, not the actual vehicle that you use to put them out there. So it doesn't really matter if you're putting them out through an autoresponder or a list, or if you're putting them on Facebook or a blog or a tweet or another method. It's about the order and the strategy that you put these messages out there. So let's get stuck into it. There are really 2 ways to get your messages in front of prospects. Number 1, you can email your list, if you have one, using an autoresponder, and you get a landing page to obviously get people on your list in the first place. Option 2, you can use the no list method to get your promotions in front of people, and we'll cover that on the next module. Now, if you don't yet have an autoresponder, I highly recommend getting over to GetResponseFast.com. This is the site that I use, GetResponse, for an autoresponder, and you'll see they've got a free trial. Try GetResponse free for 30 days. You just put in your email, your name, you don't even need a credit card, and you can try this and start building your list. Now, in order to build your list, you're going to need a squeeze page or a landing page. Now, the software that I've used to do this for my landing pages means I can have these really cool videos in the background, which get a great conversion rate and a great opt-in rate. And the software that I use to do that is Landing Page Monkey. So again, you'll see a link in the resources section next to this video to go and grab Landing Page Monkey if you want to create pages like that with the cool videos. Okay, so let's talk about the right way and the wrong way to do affiliate marketing and actually implement these messages and deploy them out into the marketplace. So this all revolves around what I call the river of doubt. Okay? When you first communicate with a prospect, there is a river of doubt that they have to cross. This is the river here. They don't know what the product is about. They don't know the product owner. Maybe they don't even know you so well. They don't know that what they're going to be getting involved in is actually going to work. So they have this doubt. Okay? So they're over on this side of the river of doubt. Right? This is the prospect, and they have questions. Is this product for me? Is it going to work? Is it worth the money? Will it do what it says it does? Is it as good as this person is telling me it is? Right? So they have all this doubt, and they're not going to buy through your link. They're not going to buy this affiliate product and come over onto this side until you can get them across the river of doubt. And when they come over here onto this side, right, they are happy, right, because they now trust the product, they've invested in the product, they've crossed the river of doubt, and as a result you have generated money, you've made commissions, right, because you've got them to cross the river of doubt. Before they buy the product, and when you first talk to them about the product, they are uncertain, right? They're not happy or sad, they're just uncertain, they don't really know. So how do you get them across this river of doubt? Well, to get them across the river, you need to use stepping stones. Right, this will take them over the river. They can't just leap over this river. You've got to give them stepping stones. So these stepping stones are email messages or messages you're posting on Facebook or blogs or whatever that are the promotional messages that I've taught you how to create in an earlier module. So if you, so let's firstly talk about the wrong way to do this. Right? The wrong way to do this to try and get somebody across the river of doubt is just to put one stepping stone in the river and say, okay, there you go, get over the river of doubt. It's not enough, right? So if you just send one email about a product, that it's not enough to convince people to jump over and invest in that product. Some people may do it and take that leap of faith, but most people won't do it. So affiliates that hop from one promotion to the other, every time you start a new promotion for a new product, you're going back to this side, right? You're getting the prospect to start over on this side of the river of doubt again. Right? So let's just say you send 2 emails about a product and you get a few sales because a few people take the leap, but then you think, oh, it's not converting great, let me now start another promotion. You go back and you reset everybody over to this side of the river again. Whereas if you keep continuing giving stepping stones, putting promotional emails out with the storytelling format that I've shown you in earlier modules, you will get almost everybody who clicks to go ahead and buy that product. Right? The more stepping stones or promotions that you put out, the more people will cross that river of doubt and the more people invest and buy the product. But if you keep changing the product that you're promoting and you say, okay, I'll just put a couple of emails out and see how it does, well, it's never going to do great unless it's a total miracle. It's never going to do great with just 1 or 2 emails. You need multiple emails to get people over this river of doubt. Okay, so that's what you need to do. Invest more time and more emails, more messages promoting one product before you move on to the next one. So now let's look at this in a bit more detail with the golden rules of deployment. So you should be sending messages daily, right? Whether it's to your email list or on your Facebook or Twitter or blogs or whatever. You should be putting messages out there, promotional messages every single day. And you should always be selling. I'm a big believer in not putting out free content. Right? Which is kind of weird for me to say because back in the day, it depends how long you've known about me, but I've been doing this since about 2000. I used to put out hundreds of articles, hundreds of videos on YouTube, thinking that, oh yeah, if I demonstrate enough value and I move the free line and I put all this great content out there, eventually people will trust me and they'll buy stuff from me. That does happen to a certain degree. However, a lot of people just take advantage of you. They suck up all the free stuff, they see you as the freebie giver away guy, the magnet of freebie seekers and tire kickers, and you don't make that much money. However, if every time you communicate with them, you give them value because of the style that you're creating the messages based on what I've taught you already, and you're also selling, then you do 2 things simultaneously. Okay? 1, you give them that value and keep them happy, and 2, you make money. So whereas some guys might be out there cranking out tons of free content and hoping that people find them, I'm cranking out tons of promotions every single day and making money every time I hit send. So that's what you need to be doing as well. Now this all comes around with what we call the compounding comic book factor. Right? So let me explain this and then I'll talk about The Simpsons and the TV show The Wire. So the compounding comic book factor is if you buy a comic, right, any kind of comic book, and I'm not big into comic books at all, the last time I bought one was probably about 12 years old, but you can buy a comic and you don't have to have bought all the previous comics in that series to know what's going on. You can just pick it up off the shelf and you can get enjoyment out. You can kind of pick up a story and you can rock and roll with it, right? That's what we call the comic book factor. However, if you are a long-term follower of that comic, you'll get even more enjoyment out of it because there'll be insider references, there'll be subplots and sub-stories going on that you can get into, and it will be a richer experience for you. But you can still be somebody that's new to it and dip in and out. So what does this mean in terms of putting out emails and putting out messages? Well, when you're sending multiple messages for a promotion, let's say you're sending 5, 6, 7 emails for a particular promotion, if you write them in this style that I've taught you, it has this compounding comic book factor. So if somebody buys or if somebody sees that first email, but then they see email 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, they're not bored because you're not doing what everyone else does and saying, here's a product, this is what it does, 50% off, here's a coupon code, it does SEO, it does SEO, it does SEO, there's only 3 days left, there's only 2 days left, there's only one. Boring, boring, boring. You're not doing that using this storytelling thing. If you use a storytelling angle, and what I've taught you in a previous module, every email is entertaining. So if somebody, people are getting something out of every single email that they receive, even if they've seen the previous emails, right? It's adding value to them. It's giving them value, giving them enjoyment. By the same token, if somebody misses out email 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they just jump on your promotion at email 5, they're not behind. They're not playing catch up. They don't, they're not confused about what's going on, because each email can be treated in isolation because it's a little story all on its own. It's kind of an encapsulated story with a call to action to go and buy something. But they can also be compounded, right? Compounding together. But it's not essential for people to read them all. So what this means is you can get away with sending more emails, right, for a promotion, because you're not just saying go buy this, go buy this, go buy this, it's good, it's good, it's good, 3 days left, 2 days left, 1 day left. You're saying something different every single time. And that gives you permission in the mind of the prospect to communicate with them more often, because you're saying something different and adding value every single time. So this is where we come with a comparison between The Simpsons and The Wire, right? Now, I'm sure you've seen The Simpsons, or you at least know what The Simpsons is, right? Cartoon. You can dive in and out of The Simpsons. You don't have to have seen every episode of The Simpsons just to turn it on in the evening and get enjoyment out of it and have a laugh and, good entertainment, right? However, if you're a super fan and you watch The Simpsons, you'll get all the insider references. It's a richer, deeper experience, but it's not essential to have seen all the previous other stuff, right? So that's what you need to be doing with your emails. Individual stories for each episode, stroke email, stroke message, but a kind of a richer tapestry of backstory if people are going through all of it, right? As opposed to a program like The Wire or a TV show like The Wire. Now, if you go and watch, episode 7 or whatever of series 2 of The Wire, if you've not seen any of the other episodes, you're going to be lost. You're not really going to know what's going on. You can't just dive in, watch one episode. I said, it'll be good. It'll be good enjoyment, but you'll be a bit confuddled. You won't really know what's going on. And so you don't want emails like that. You want emails that are encapsulated in their own. They can be treated on their own, but they can also create this richer tapestry when they're compounded with the other emails that you've sent. Now, commission machines are always made of multiple messages, i.e. these stepping stones, as I explained to you a moment ago. Right? So it's not a case of just blasting out 1 or 2 emails and having done with it. They always need to be done in a series so that you're getting people over that river of doubt with multiple messages. Next, you need to make sure you always plan ahead to fill your promo calendar with big launches that are coming up that span multiple days, so you can apply this commission machine method and have a promotion that has multiple emails going out. So you need to go and find future launches, book them in with things that you think your audience is going to really go for, and get those promos and those bonuses queued up. Make sure you fill in your gaps on your calendar with evergreen products which convert. And we covered that in an earlier module. And the module all about research, I showed you how to find evergreen products which convert. You need to plug those in to gaps in your calendar. So yes, put in the launches first, because there's inbuilt scarcity to launches. There's the buzz, there's the social proof, there's the excitement of a launch that's going to get sales anyway. But when you've got those and you've got some spare days, fill those spare days with evergreen products. And you can still do kind of a mini launch on those by adding your own bonus and creating scarcity that way by removing the bonus after a certain time. Never ever have blank days. You should be sending an email out to your list or putting a message out on Facebook or blog or Twitter or whatever it is every single day. And every single message should be story based with a lesson and then promote something. If not, you are leaving serious money on the table. Okay, I want to give you a walkthrough now of a 7-day commission machine. So this is a promotion for a product, the same product, over a 7-day period. Now, this could be for a live launch or it could be for an evergreen product. And of course, timings will differ if you're promoting a live launch, because somebody might launch on a Tuesday, they might close it down on a Sunday, or they might just go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It really depends. But let's just take the 7-day commission machine as an example for you to learn how you apply this. Now, you can create scarcity and a deadline, as I've said, even if it's an evergreen product, by offering a time-limited bonus. You need to stick to the storytelling format that I've explained in the previous modules, so people will love getting all these emails. It's not like you'll be hitting them over the head with a stick saying the same thing every time, and they're going to really complain and say, why are you sending me all this stuff? They're going to get value from it if you do this in the right way that I've taught you. And very simply, the more emails you send, the more money you will make. So this kind of myth in internet marketing, oh, I don't want to hammer my list, I've emailed them twice today, I don't want to email them again, I've sent them an email every day for the past week, I better give them a week off. That's absolute rubbish. That is fear based on people that don't know how to create entertaining and story-based emails. If they're creating pitch emails, they're just grabbing swipe files, and it's just, buy this, 50% off, last chance, this does SEO, yada, 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 snooze fest, then yeah, of course the list is going to get hacked off with that, because it's like all the other emails. But if it's personal, if it's story-based, it's got curiosity and a shock factor, controversy, pop culture references in there, humor, all that kind of stuff that I've taught you, then people are going to love getting your emails. And the more, the better. Now, of course, you will get unsubscribes. You are going to get some people saying, oh, no, what are you doing? Why are you trying to teach me and help me move my business forward all the time? Just get rid of them. You don't want those guys. I love getting unsubscribes. In fact, I put an email out recently. I think it got me about 100 unsubscribes. Most people would have started to tie a noose at that point. I got out champagne because that got 100 douches off my list that just don't get it. They're not into my style. They don't like my style of storytelling. They don't like my personality, and that's fine. I don't want to work with those people. I don't want their money, right? So it's fine if you get unsubscribes. You're building a huge fan base here. You're building following, raving fans who will email you. They'll buy all your stuff because it's you. They will email you and say, oh, thanks, that's a great email. Thank you for selling that to me. You will be amazed at this. So here's the breakdown of a 7-day commission machine. So you start off on a Monday, right? And you put out one email on the Monday. Tuesday, one email. Wednesday, one email. Thursday, one email. Friday, one email. And then you start ramping up. Right? As the product comes to a close, either the bonus that you're offering is pulled down or the launch itself closes, let's just say on a Sunday, you ramp up. So you'd send 2 emails on a Saturday, 3 emails on a Sunday. Now, this is what's called the crush campaign. This last part here is what's called the crush campaign. This was a phrase coined by my good friend and colleague Omar Martin. And what I've done is I've taken this and I've kind of put it on steroids. Right? And I'm going to show you now on screen a promotion that I did using this kind of crush campaign on steroids. So before we get into that, and just to really emphasize here what the commission machine method is when you're doing it over this 7-day period, it's a combination of all the factors that I've taught you thus far. So it's researching and finding the best product, okay? It's having the best angle for the entire promotion. It's providing incentives, the right type of bonuses on top of that. Then creating the messages in the right way, and now we're in the deployment phase, which is how many emails do you send and when? But if you just send 1 email every day and then 2 emails the penultimate day and 3 emails on the last day, but you don't have the right product, but you don't have the right angle for the promotion, but you don't provide the right incentives, and you don't create the messages in the right way, you're not going to make money, right? So it's about all these things, doing them all together and in tandem. Okay, so here on your screen is a 7-day commission machine that I did for a product that generated thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in recurring commissions for me. And we're going to just start on day 1. So day 1, it was a Monday, and in this case the product actually hadn't gone live. It didn't go live until the Thursday night. Now typically I'm not a big believer in doing pre-launch and sending emails that don't have a link to buy something, but in some cases if it's a huge launch with a lot of prize money on the table, with big commissions, and you've got advance notice and you've got nothing else to promote, sometimes it can be worth doing maybe 1 or even 2 days kind of pre-launch to get the list warmed up. In this case I actually did 3 days because I was really putting absolutely everything into this. So this is kind of the commission machine on steroids, and you'll see what I mean by this. So day 1 I sent my first message, my journey into the nether regions of business failure. So I spoke about a difficult time in my business where was struggling to generate revenue and what I did to try and get out of that. Tuesday I sent 2 emails. So remember, the product isn't even live yet. First email, over my dead business. I spoke about how I was never going to quit. Even when things got really tough, I was never going to quit. Next email, same day, I see dead sheeple. So this is about people, you know, that are trying to do what everyone else is doing, and therefore they're going to fail and their business will die. So I'm kind of stirring up the pain at this point, really getting into the nitty-gritty of the risk, the fear that people have, not just to twist the knife and make a sale, but to get them to understand that if they don't do something, their circumstances aren't going to change, right? People won't take action on something unless they feel discomfort about their current circumstances. So you've got to get into that. If you don't, you're not going to change people's lives and you're not going to improve their circumstances. Simple as that. So day 3, now we're kind of warming up a little bit. The product goes live tomorrow, as it, you know, Thursday as this is. So day 3, Wednesday, my ugly prediction for this week. So this is me kind of getting a dig in about all the other kind of Me Too affiliates that are going to jump on board this. I'm going to say, look, and I said in this, watch out, it's going to get ugly this week. You're going to get emails all over the place from people promoting this thing, but only one person has worked with this guy one-on-one in the way that I have. You know, only one person has got access to this guy like I have, and has got the results that I have, and is going to train you on exactly what he taught me, etc. Right? Next, same day, next email. So look, pre-launch, not even gone live yet, and we're on email number 5. So that's what I'm talking about, these stepping stones to get people moving over, and also the fact that I kind of put this on steroids. Really just to push the boundary, just to see what I could do and how far I could take this with these new story-based emails without, you know, upsetting the apple cart and having everybody on my list run to the hills. So this one was angry subscriber threatens me. And this was something like, oh, you know, a subscriber had emailed me and said, oh, you know, you're constantly trying to sell stuff. You know, if you don't stop selling stuff to me, you know, I'll report you to FTC or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But I used the email that came back as content for this email, which is a great thing to do, by the way. If you get positive praise or you get negative praise, even better, use it as subject matter for a future email. People love that stuff. And I then said, yes, of course, I'm a marketer. If you don't want a marketer to market, or if you don't like doctors trying to heal people, or if you don't like, you know, judges dealing out justice, then leave my list, right? This is what I do. And I do it because it's fun and because it makes money and it's good advice, and you should follow what I'm doing if you want to make money. If you think I should be marketing less, I'd be a bad marketer, and maybe it's that mindset that's meaning you're not making enough money. Something like that, right? So just kind of getting them ready to know what was coming. Day 4, 3 emails on day 4. First email, the case for bombing the Warrior Forum, which I've spoken about on a previous module, stirring it up a little bit about people that don't take action and just kind of hang around on forums and whinge and bitch, saying, look, you're going to have to take action. We're going to need a bigger bonus, was the next email. So this is a reference obviously to Jaws. We're going to need a bigger boat. This is me kind of looking out at the landscape, seeing the other bonuses that other affiliates are offering, and saying, look, I've seen this, I've added even more to mine, wait until you see it. So all this time I was kind of pre-launching both the product and my bonus. I was kind of getting people excited and waiting and wanting to see my bonus when I finally revealed it. And then on the Thursday night, when this product finally went live, I announced my bonus. It's alive. Revealed my CPR bonus for my Unfair Advantage. Right, so that's a product I was promoting, and off it went, and we did a boatload of sales on that Thursday night. Now we move into the kind of what do you call it? The game time, if you like, the serious action time in this particular commission machine. Day 5, Friday. So at this point, there's only 3 days left until the product is pulled from the market. So day 5. I went with 3 emails. Crapped in America, which I've spoken to you about already, talking about the product owner themselves and how they're a hero. Attack of the sugar-crazed 3-year-olds from hell. Again, I've walked you through that one as well on a previous module. A story about how these toddlers were all tooting the same trumpet and how people need to differentiate themselves. Of course, these are all pitches, story with a lesson, then a pitch. And then a third one, disturbing letter from my lawyer. This got great open rates, great click-through rates. I got a letter from my lawyer saying that somebody had filed for bankruptcy and they might be trying to claw back some funds, and they were like $40,000 in debt. And I spoke about how could anybody get $40,000 in debt without knowing it, like burying their head in the sand. And you know, if your business is struggling, don't bury your head in the sand. Do something about it. Go and get this, and it will help you get out of it. Day 6, penultimate day, right? The day before this launch closed down. 3 emails. Trapped online, surrounded by douchebags, low on funds. I've mentioned that in a previous module. Then I did an FAQ. I've mentioned before the importance of doing an FAQ, particularly towards the end of a promotion, because it gets a lot of fence sitters off the fence and on side. And if you want to know how to do an FAQ, make sure you check out that module on messages. It gives you a walkthrough of the best way to do that. Then on the Saturday Night Marketing Fever, movie reference. So this one was about, are you addicted to marketing? Are you checking your iPhone on Saturday night? Have you got Saturday Night Marketing Fever? If you have and you just can't switch off from it and you're really excited by it and you want to grow your business, you should go and grab this. Day 7, Sunday, the day this launch closes down. 5 emails sent out to my list on this day. Right, the first email, the first casualty of bonus war is innocence. This is a quote from Platoon, obviously without the bonus in it. The first casualty of war is innocence. So I'm talking about bonuses and the fact that other people just can't compete with my bonus and all this kind of stuff. Next, burnt toast and deadline day for my Omar bonus. So I'm basically emphasizing, look, it's deadline day today. Move now or forever lose out. Burnt toast, that's just a story element just to make it a little bit different to everybody else's deadline day email for that particular promotion. So I was saying, look, I burnt toast here, I was so busy writing this email, that there's a smell of burning toast coming from the kitchen. Next, the dog ate my website. This is reference to, that classic excuse for homework. I can't give you my homework because the dog's eating it. This is an excuse about, oh yeah, I can't do this because I really want to join this, I really want to invest in the product you're telling me about, but I can't do it because. So it's full of all those lame-ass excuses that people use, and I shot them down one by one, basically saying, well, no, if you don't have enough money, that's exactly why you should get this, because it will help you get money. Next, penultimate message. Enough Omar hype, show me the money, Cheney. So this is screenshots, I think maybe even a video walkthrough of the amount of income I generated thanks to using this particular product that I was recommending. Really just overloading on proof. And then finally, the last email, the 5th email of the day, the last email of the entire commission machine, only 4 hours left, not to buy my unfair advantage. So a slight little twist on this. People looking at it think, not buy? What do you mean? OpenApp said, yes, do not buy it. Do not buy this if you're not going to take action. Do not buy this if you expect money to come spitting out of the computer in 12 seconds. Do not buy, and so on. So it's a little bit reverse psychology, but also just qualifying people and explaining a little bit more about what the program is. So the end result of this promotion over the course of a week was thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in commissions, dominating the leaderboard almost until the last minute, coming second out of probably over 100 affiliates, winning $2,000 in prizes and getting thousands of dollars in recurring revenue commissions as well, and ultimately just for sending out some emails over the course of a week. Right? So this is the power of this. This is how impactful this can be if you apply everything that I've taught you in all these modules. Okay, so you now have everything you need to deploy your commission machine. I've shown you the right way and the wrong way to do affiliate marketing. You learned how to get prospects across the river of doubt so they buy from you. You learned the golden rules of deployment. And we did a walkthrough of the 7-day commission machine. On the next module, I'm going to walk you through the no list method. So if you don't yet have a list, you don't have any email addresses you can email your messages out to, then you need to watch the next module. And even if you do have a list, you need to watch the next module, because it's going to show you how you can leverage all the messages you've created to get even more free exposure, even more clicks, and even more sales and commissions. I'll speak to you soon.